Hey, what's up, everybody? So let's talk about it. The subject matter of everything that's going on right now. But let me first start off by saying I am not a healthcare professional. This is not advice. This is just my opinion. If you have any questions or concerns um, as to what you should do surrounding this problem that we have right now, seek medical advice from a healthcare professional. Um, if you feel sick or have major concerns, ask your doctor. But this is going to be my opinion. Once again, I'm not a professional healthcare professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. Just to put that out there, but this is just my opinion. Um, so this is the hot topic right now, and it is affecting a lot of things. It's affecting the way we shop. It's affecting our money. It's affecting the stock market. It's affecting the way we live life right now because certain things are shutting down. I mean, there's a lot of events that were scheduled that canceled. For one, not something that I would have went to anyway, but like the Arnold, I think it's called the Arnold Classic, which is a big bodybuilding um, event where a lot of companies go to it. Well, they shut it down to the public, and it was just for the people on the stage, bodybuilders and power lifters and stuff like that. They shut that down. Um, a lot of other things are happening, such as grocery stores are running out of a lot of like hand sanitizer, stuff like that. I was just at a local store this morning and they have a lot of stuff. They have a lot of soap, bleach, stuff like that. There's a lot of food, water, but they're out of hand sanitizer. So there's certain things like that that we can't get. Um, the stock market is going down, has gone down a lot. I think it's 12, depending on which one it is, the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P 500, anywhere from 12 to 13, 14%. And my opinion on it, I want to give you my opinion on the stock market. I think the biggest takeaway from that is that we have way too many business dealings with China. That's just my opinion, because a lot of these problems, like what we are seeing now, comes from China. Um, so we have a lot. I don't fly abroad ever, so I'm not someone who would fly to China, fly to South Korea, fly to a lot of these places. But we have way too many people, in my opinion, that fly to China. If people just would not fly to China, we probably would not have, if people wouldn't fly to China, from Italy or from the US or from South Korea, then we probably would not be seeing a lot of these cases. A lot of these problems are coming from China, and a lot of these problems in the past, such as SARS and H1N1, all these things, all of these have started in China. I think the scary thing about this is the fact that most of our antibiotics and vaccinations come from China as well. So if China isn't producing these things, if they say, hey, you know what, we're not going to give you any more antibiotics, any more vaccinations, then they can, completely change the outcome in a lot of these different things. So I think it's very important from especially the manufacturing of our antibiotics and our medications to start doing that here again. Start these pharmaceutical companies, in my opinion, and everybody can formulate their own opinions and everything. We need to start manufacturing these things, car parts and all these things, clothes and, all these things that, that's one thing, you know, um, but things that have to do with our health and getting recovering from illnesses and stuff like that, we need to start manufacturing those type of things. These pharmaceutical companies need to start manufacturing these types of things here in the US and not rely on China. I think that is the number one thing. Um, that's one of the things that President Trump wants to do is he wants to start having these um, pharmaceutical companies manufacturing these antibiotics and vaccinations here in the US. No matter what you believe about if you're anti or pro vaccination, whatever the case may be, but I think that those should be manufactured here and not in China. Um, Now, what do I think we should do? Well, I'm not going to say what I think you should do going forward, but what I think we should do going forward. Um, I think where a lot of these cases are in, I think there was like a total of like 400 as of yesterday, which was March 7th, and the most of them have been in New York, California, and Washington, the state of Washington. I think, it would be smart for people to not travel to those states. Don't bring it back to your state. It's very smart for people not to travel abroad. Don't travel abroad. Don't travel to other countries. Um, but for me, I'm not gonna let this stop the way that I live. I flew to Florida last week, no problem. It's been a week. I haven't had any symptoms. Everybody who I've traveled with doesn't have any symptoms of anything. We went to Disney World, crowded parks in Disney World, Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Epcot. We went to a bunch of parks which was crowded with people. It was during mid-winter break for a lot of schools, so it was very, very crowded when we went. Um, I have been stocking up on some cleaning supplies because of stores running out of cleaning supplies and stuff like that. I have stocked up on some things that I did not have previously. Um, so that's kind of changing my life a little bit, the way I shop for like some cleaning supplies. Because let's face it, I am not by definition a prepper for SHTF. So I am one of those who had to change a little bit, buy a little bit more cleaning supplies and stuff like that, a little bit more food, put a little bit more meat in the freezer, buy a little bit more of non-perishables just in case, people continue to lose their minds and buy up all the stuff in the grocery stores. But I think I think the biggest problem with this whole thing is the fact that China tried to cover this problem up. But once our president found out about it, what did he do? He closed the borders to China. But by that time, it was kind of too late. The problem was already in the United States because of the amount of people who traveled to China and back, and then from Italy to China. And, I mean, that's their problem because we can't control what other countries do. But once our president found out about this, he closed off the borders, and he had a lot of people, a lot of naysayers about that, accusing him of, a bunch of different horrible things. But it turned out he did the right thing. Um, and he got a force together led by Mike Pence, and they are trying to deal with this this problem. So he's not encouraging, a spread of this, but he's also not trying to. Um, he's also not encouraging people to panic, to over panic. I always practice good hygiene, and I mean, especially now, it's a good practice to practice good hygiene, wash your hands, stay away from sick people. If you touch a railing at a public place, don't put your hands in that next to your mouth, next to your eyes. Wash your hands before you touch anything on your face. Um, Stay away from sick people. If you are sick, stay home. I mean, that's the biggest thing, not just now, but every day, for forever is, a lot of sick people go to work because they don't want to take time off. They don't want to burn vacation time or not get paid because they're sick. So they go to work sick and they make everybody else sick. So especially now, with this thing being highly contagious, if you are sick, stay home. I think that's the biggest thing is if you're sick, go to the doctor, call your doctor, go to the hospital, or, stay home and call your doctor, but don't go out and infect, everybody else because you're not feeling well. So to end this video, because this is a little longer than I thought it was going to be, if this was me, I mean, if I was advising myself, I would do a couple of things. One, and that is do not travel to where the biggest problem of this is, and that is do not travel to United States. I mean, within the United States, do not travel to New York, do not travel to California, do not travel to the state of Washington, and vice versa. I would hope that people within California, within New York, and within Washington are not traveling to other states. I would kind of quarantine those three states off from the rest of the country until they, all these people within those states get better who are infected and not infect the rest of the country, because let's face it, out of 400 cases approximately, that's where most of these are, with a couple of one-offs in other states. But that's my opinion. I'm not looking into this too much more than it is. I think, in my opinion, this will kind of, once flu season ends, this kind of will end. Will it pick up in the next flu season? Yeah, probably. This here to stay? Yes, it probably is. But once we get the vaccinations, which is going to take about a year, we should have a vaccination for this like we do for everything else. The only problem that I have with the vaccinations is that they are manufactured in China, and I think our vaccinations, our antibiotics, our medications should be manufactured here. Our health, our well-being should not be left to China. So that is my opinion. There's probably a lot of other things that I have not spoke about in this video. Maybe I'll make another one, maybe not, depending, if I have any more thoughts that I want to talk about. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this changing how you do anything? Is it changing your traveling plans? Have you canceled any traveling plans? This for me is not changing very much, except for a couple of things extra that I bought at the store, and washing my hands a little bit more often. And if somebody is coughing, stay away from people who look like they are sick. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Appreciate everybody for watching and listening. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks a lot, everyone.